Welcome back to Mosaic Wellness University. This is class number 4. This is Dr. David Harper, your wellness coach and host, speaking to you. Mosaic Wellness University has two main values. The first is our overreaching value, and that is that your life matters. And we believe that wholeheartely, that your life matters, that you have a purpose for your life, and you cannot realize that purpose, whether it's playing golf, playing with your grandchildren, living well to 100, whatever your purpose is for your life, whatever you were created to be doing. You can't do it if you're in the bed, sick in a hospital somewhere, or if you're in a grave, 6 feet under. And the second is that Mosaic Wellness University may just be the place where what you learn may save your life. This may be the place where what you learn may actually give you the tools that you need to make the best decisions possible for your life and the life of your loved ones to help it matter. We fully believe that every person was born for a purpose, and that purpose is something that you are to realize, and that purpose can't be realized if you're taking energy away from that purpose by trying to stay healthy because you've been diagnosed with some type of sickness or illness. So why am I teaching this class? Well, I've kind of let the cat out of the bag again because this country's healthcare is declining every year. And guys, I just can't stand around and watch it happen anymore. And so, as I've said before, I'll say it again, the only solution is to empower you. There needs to be a revolution of information, a revolution of decision, a revolution in which the value for each human being is elevated so that life matters, not just the management of death and the management of disease and waiting for you to have something happen to you before something is initiated, but to truly care about you to the point and the degree that we warn you. My wife Deborah and I have 3 kids. At this stage of their life, they're still learning what it means to grow and to learn. As we were helping them and raising them, we would not wait for them to run into traffic and get hit by a car before we would tell them what they did wrong. We would not wait for them to touch something sharp or something hot or to put their finger into an outlet. We proofed the house. We proofed the house to prevent our children from having an increased potential for something to happen. Things can happen, but we weren't willing to allow it just to happen by chance. We wanted to influence our environment to protect our children. Folks, we are the children of the system. We are the children of the medical care system, and I'm disappointed that the system does not warn us more about what we need to know. And so that's the purpose of these university classes. The purpose of these classes is to help educate you, to provide you with integrity of information and purpose to help you make the right decisions about yourself. Because the solution is to not get sick. The best type of health care is to remain well and to have that wellness defined through vitality and longevity. So hello everybody. Today's class is about nutrition. In our last class on diet, we discussed macronutrients such as proteins, carbs, and fats, when to eat, how much to eat, how often to eat, how to create balanced meals, food additives, and how to read labels. Today we will discuss micronutrients, or how we get successfully from our proper amounts of our nutrients from our food, from our diet. Those types of nutrients that our body cannot manufacture, but they need to function properly. Guys, our diet has changed over the past 100 years. Look at some of the changes we've made in what we eat. We don't grow our own food and depend upon commercial farming for our food, which affects our freshness due to the preservatives that are necessary for that transportation of that food. Commercial farming has resulted in food with less nutritional value. Toxins from pesticides and fertilizers now are a major part of what the food has as part of its makeup. From 1900 to 1970, the intake of fresh produce has decreased by 30%. Processing of foods has reduced their nutritional value by 20 to 80% due to refining, bleaching, heating, and pasteurizing. In 1900, very few foods were processed. Now, over 90% of North American food budget is used to purchase these processed foods. North America has a nutrition problem. We should be the best fed people on earth, but just look at our overweight and obesity rates. 1/3 of North American adults today are obese, but the fact is we are starving nutritionally. 78% of our children are omega-3 deficient, and 60% of our adults are omega-3 deficient. 75% of North Americans are calcium deficient. 68% of North Americans are deficient in magnesium, while nearly 40% are deficient in zinc. 75% of North Americans don't have enough vitamin D. 40% of all North Americans are vitamin E deficient, and all of this due to poor farming methods, poor ranching methods, soil depletion, poor food choices that include fast foods, processed foods, and food preparation methods. Guys, North America has a nutrition problem and it's killing us. We live in a toxic world and our food is basically crap. But short of moving to rural Canada or the Fiji Islands, we can't go back to how it was when our grandparents were around. The nutrition series of Mosaic Wellness University will give you the tools you need to navigate this toxic world, avoid the toxins around you, and strengthen your own innate resistance and resilience to these poisons. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the farming of agricultural crops. Really, there's two basic ideas here. There's conventional farming versus organic farming, which is really modern farming versus traditional farming. Fertilizing is a method of replacing the soil with what the growth of plants remove. After World War II, factories that had been built to produce nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium for use in the making of ammunition and bombs were left with stockpiles of these chemicals and nowhere to sell them. There was an industry looking to survive. They began to notice how fast plants grew in these piles and began to bag the stuff and market it to farmers. Today we call it NPK, which stands for nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. NPK is used almost exclusively on every commercial farm in North America. It was a boon to agriculture because plants grew fast and big. However, there is a downside. The soil is not getting all the rest of the nutrients it needs. The soil needs something like 56 different nutrients, and all plants also need secondary nutrients themselves to prosper. Missing these nutrients, crops grown on this depleted soil are more susceptible to attack by insects, bacteria, fungi, weed takeover, and crop loss in dry weather. Bacteria and nematodes in the soil needed to replenish the soil are killed due to the acidic conditions of the chemical fertilizers. This requires the use of pesticides and herbicides on our crops. All conventional farmers must use herbicides, fungicides, and insecticides to ensure minimum crop damage and maximum crop yield. According to the US EPA, 60% of all herbicides, 90% of all fungicides, and 30% of all insecticides are potentially cancer-causing. Research has found these toxins stored in almost everyone's fat cells as well, particularly female breast tissue. So what's happening, guys, is the food that we're consuming that has these residues is now getting into our body pandemically across all races, all countries that are using these foods. But organic farmers use no insecticides, fungicides, or herbicides in growing. They also use organic fertilizers such as mulching and manures. They are more likely to rotate their crops in order to allow the soil to improve as well. In a U.S. study published in April 2001, 41 comparisons of the nutrient levels in organic and conventionally grown foods were evaluated. In every case, the organic crops had higher nutrient levels. 27% more vitamin C, 29% more iron, and 14% more phosphorus. How many of you have your own garden? Having your own garden would be the ideal way to control the freshness of your fruits and vegetables as well as what goes into them or on them. But this doesn't happen anymore. We just don't have the room. So there's a difference also between animal ranching, and there's a great movie out there called Food Inc. if you want to rent it sometime to look at it. It basically highlights the present practices of the major companies that produce the ranching and dairy products that we eat, the beef, the pork, the lamb, the chicken, turkey, and farm-raised fish. There's a difference between the organic style and the conventional style, and it's worth looking into because look down there, there's 1/3 less cholesterol, 1/4 less saturated fat, 2/3 more vitamin A, 2 times more omega-3 fatty acids, 3 times more vitamin E, and 7 times more beta-carotene. All in the organically ranched or dairy foods and products. This is an American study, but a 50-year study from 1950 to 1999 showed that there were elevated levels of 13 nutrients they evaluated the levels of 13 nutrients in 43 foods, including 39 vegetables, 3 melons, and strawberries. The studied nutrients included vitamin C, riboflavin, and those listed here. Representative changes in nutrients from foods grown in 1999 versus those grown in 50 include all these decreases in the amounts of the levels of what's seen there, whether it's calcium, iron, protein, whatever it is. There was a 50-year Canadian study that was also done on soil depletion and its effect on today's fruit and vegetable crops. and researchers found the same type of thing measured between 1940 and 1991. For example, the potato has lost the following over the past 50 years from conventional farming: 100% of vitamin A, 57% of vitamin C and iron, 28% of calcium, and 50% of riboflavin. Soil depletion affects the quantity of minerals that are actually in your fresh produce. No wonder we are minerally deficient. Poor food choices. There's a difference between different foods that we're eating too. Processed foods, generally speaking, are produced using manufacturing methods to transform raw ingredients into neatly packaged goods, which have a longer shelf life. They nearly all contain artificial ingredients such as colorings and flavorings, preservatives, fillers, and emulsifiers. They don't offer much in nutritional value. They may make you feel full, but they don't give you the nutritional value that you need to survive and to do well against all the different negative effects of our environment and our lifestyle. Whole foods, on the other hand, are grown in orchards, gardens, and greenhouses, are unprocessed and unrefined, and have a shorter shelf life. These foods are authentically flavorful, have vibrant colors, and rich textures. Moreover, they are full of micronutrient, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and fiber. Guys, we need to make better food choices, okay? Nutritional deficiencies cause disease. Even the American Medical Association has chimed in on the topic. A few decades late, though, but is recognized today that the typical North American diet is not providing adequate nutrition, and the result is chronic disease. It says here, insufficient vitamin intake is apparently a cause of chronic disease from the Journal of the American Medical Association in June 2002. Suboptimal levels of vitamins are risk factors for chronic disease such as cardiovascular disease, cancer, and osteoporosis. Guys, years ago they said taking vitamins and minerals was just giving you expensive urine. Now they're agreeing and acknowledging what we've been saying for years as chiropractors and nutritionists, that it's what you eat and your environment that you're in that affects the major causes and helps to set you up for the diseases that medicine loves to be able to treat you for. Here are some of the conditions related to nutritional deficiencies. Look at this: liver problems, tingling and numbness, muscle cramps, back pain, diarrhea, disc problems, joint problems, knee pains, hemorrhoids, gas, gallbladder disorders, all sorts of different things associated with having nutritional deficiencies. So what are the essential nutrients that we need to survive? Well, essential nutrients are those that your body cannot produce. There are some that are called macronutrients that we talked about in the previous class on nutrition, called fats, that include fats, carbohydrates, and proteins, but there are also micronutrients, and these must come from the foods that you eat. These micronutrients are required by the body to function properly, and they must be supplied by our diet. They include vitamins, minerals, enzymes, essential fatty acids, antioxidants, phytochemicals, fiber, and water. We're going to start talking first about vitamins. So a vitamin is an organic compound that cannot be synthesized in sufficient quantities by an organism and must be obtained from the diet. They can be fat soluble or water soluble. They're needed for regulating cell and tissue growth, cell differentiation, and mineral metabolism. They can be antioxidants. They have hormone-like activity. They are enzyme cofactors, meaning that they are involved as rate-limiting potential steps in your body's enzyme functions. And the first synthetic form was developed in the 1930s, and it was vitamin C. A mineral is an inorganic element that cannot be synthesized by an organism and must be obtained from the diet. They are found and needed as examples of electrolytes for nerve, muscle, and heart function, energy production in the cell, the production of ATP. They're necessary for bone development, for enzymes, hemoglobin, which is in the blood, and other proteins, and hormone production. More vital nutrients include enzymes, which are proteins that are needed to start up or speed up chemical reactions in the body. For example, special enzymes are needed to break down proteins, fats, and carbohydrates into chemicals our body can absorb. These are called proteases, lipases, and amylases. Essential fatty acids are fats that we must obtain from our diet. The fat that most Americans in Canada and the U.S. are deficient in is omega-3 fatty acids. They are available in flaxseed and in cold water fish. Omega-3 fatty acid deficiency is the sixth biggest killer of North Americans and is connected to heart disease, cancer, diabetes, stroke, high blood pressure, and even diabetes. Even kids need these. A special issue is nutrition and water. Nutrition is water. Although it is not usually considered a nutrient, it is absolutely essential for life, for our blood, for all chemical reactions in our body, for digestion, and for eliminating toxins and poisons. Water quality does matter. The worst type of water is tap water, water from the creek. And this is because there are chemicals that are put into the water to help maintain its pH and to help prevent it from having problems on a gross level to the community. A poor choice water is filtered or purified, reverse osmosis with no realkalization or distilled water. This is basically dead water. What it does is it basically will leach out the minerals from your body as you drink it. The best water is Kangen water that is microclustered for quick and efficient absorption. It is alkalinity water and one that is also an antioxidant. This water has been shown in studies to decrease the negative issues within the GI tract and have been shown to, in some cases, help to enhance the health and wellness of individuals to a dramatic degree that have been sick. What are some sources of micronutrients? Well, micronutrients come from fruits and vegetables, whole grains, nuts, seeds, and oils, dairy products such as milk and yogurt, beans, meats, poultry, fish, and seafood. Whole food versus synthetic. The best source of vitamins and minerals is food. The majority of commercial vitamin supplements are made up of synthetic vitamins. I once had a patient that was involved at one point high up within the Kodak Corporation. And one of the byproducts of making film, he confirmed, was actually the production of synthetic vitamin E. Synthetic vitamins do not perform the same functions in your body as vitamins found naturally in whole food. And here's why. When I was a kid, there were all these different experiments or challenges to try and find out how many people you could fit into a Volkswagen Bug. I don't remember what the total number was, but if you were to consider each of the different individuals that tried to fit into a Volkswagen Bug a mineral or vitamin, and they had to package it into the Volkswagen Bug or Beetle, consider that the size of the supplement. You can only get a certain number of things naturally in there. But if you were to take all the arms and legs off the individuals and all the heads off the bodies of the people that you try to fit into the car, you could fit way more people into the size of that pill or to the size of that Volkswagen than you would if you had them connected. And that's the idea. When you denature or change the shape of the minerals and the vitamins that go into a supplement, you can actually package more into them with the fillers and the things to hold it together. But to have natural supplements, natural vitamins, to keep the shape and to keep the orientation of these structures properly set up, you need to have, and to have them bioavailable, you need to have either a big enough supplement or you have to have more. So the one-a-day supplements that you hear advertised on TV have to be synthetic, and the truth is that they are. And they're the worst thing you could do for you because they basically don't support your biochemistry. You're taking something, it may be inexpensive because it's cheap because it's synthetic, but it's also cheap because it won't work. Alright, so let's talk about vitamin C. Synthetic vitamins are created in a test tube in the laboratory. In the 1930s, a chemist found a chemical in vitamin C and then recreated that chemical in the lab and called it ascorbic acid or vitamin C. The problem is that whole food or natural vitamin C is a complex of substances including ascorbinogen, bioflavonoids, rutin, and tyrosinase, factor J, factor K, and factor P. If any of these substances are missing, there is no vitamin C. See the diagram on the left there, whole food vitamin C. A good analogy for this is like trying to manufacture a car. You need an engine, transmission, chassis, wheels, and so on. When you receive 1,000 auto bodies in assembly line, 1,000 milligrams of ascorbic acid, but you only have 50 engines, 50 transmissions, 50 frames, etc., then you can only make 50 cars. whole vitamin C complex. You cannot build a car with extra auto bodies no matter how many bodies you receive. The same is true for excess ascorbic acid. No matter how much you take, the limiting factor is its usefulness, and it lies in how many parts you have actually assembled in the fully functioning molecule. In reality, ascorbic acid is only 5% of the total vitamin C complex. It is the outer antioxidant portion which protects the mineral activator that sits at the center of the complex. So there's nothing in the middle. Ascorbic acid is not vitamin C. When parts are missing, it does not act like vitamin C at all. This holds true for synthetic vitamin isolates. Amino acids are found in almost all processed foods today in high concentrations. The bottom line, if you're taking synthetic vitamins, stop taking them immediately and throw them out. They are robbing and damaging your body. So what are the synthetic vitamin dangers? Women at risk for lung cancer given synthetic vitamin A were 28% more likely to develop lung cancer. They actually had to stop the study. A study of 29,000 Finnish smokers proved that vitamin A, synthetic beta-carotene, increased death rates significantly enough to stop a 10-year study prematurely. The risk of cancer increased by 16%, and there was an 8% higher risk in the overall death rate of those smokers taking the synthetic nutritional supplements. A New England Journal of Medicine study in 1995 at Boston University School of Medicine found that synthetic vitamin A given to pregnant women increased the risk of birth defects by 240 to 400%. In a study of 136,000 people in 19 trials taking vitamin E, synthetic vitamin E, researchers found that the risk of dying within 5 years rose by about 5% in people who took at least 400 IUs in a day. That was in 11 trials. Guys, stop taking them. So how do you spot synthetics? Synthetics will have the vitamin and the chemical name in brackets, or they will have the chemical name with the vitamin name in brackets. Note the label on the left, which is from Centrum, the top-selling commercial vitamin in the world. It's all synthetic. The label on the right is from a different product, and it shows that there's natural foods that are being used for these vitamins. This is a natural product. This is how you can tell the vitamin you're taking is a whole food vitamin, or it is a useless, dangerous synthetic vitamin. Let's talk about digestion. There are 4 steps to healthy eating. The first one is making good food choices. Food is fuel for your body. If you provide crappy fuel for your body, it will run poorly. We will show you how to choose the right foods for optimal wellness. But digestion is the mechanical process of breaking down the food into smaller chemicals so the body can use it. Digestion starts in the mouth. Acid helps break down the proteins before they enter the small intestine. Enzymes in this step facilitate the breakdown of proteins, fats, carbohydrates into amino acids, fatty acids, and sugars. The next is absorption. Absorption is how we get the food which has been broken down into small chemicals from your intestine into your bloodstream. Enzymes break down these proteins, carbohydrates, and fats and convert food products to chemicals our bodies use. It has been said that you are what you eat, but in reality you are what you absorb from what you eat. And perhaps even more so, you are what you don't eliminate. Because elimination is what we get rid of in terms of the waste or leftovers of digestion. Proper elimination requires adequate water, normal intestinal flora, which probiotics helpful in doing this, and enough dietary fiber. So what are symptoms in the north area of the body? Well, gas, burping, bloating, cramping, heartburn, acid indigestion, acid reflux, and GERD. And the symptoms in the south, we're talking about diarrhea, allergies, immune system weakness, autoimmune problems, irritable bowel syndrome, inflammatory bowel disease, hypertension, kidney stones, and lactose intolerance. Digestive problems are due to poor digestive enzyme deficiencies, stomach acid and protein enzyme deficiencies, and intestinal floral imbalance. This leads to poor and incomplete breakdown of proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, poor absorption of minerals and vitamins, digestive symptom problems, and immune system problems. So what is acid and enzyme deficiencies? Well, enzymes are foods that drive chemical reactions in the body. Digestive enzymes are responsible for breaking down food, particularly proteins, fats, and carbohydrates into smaller protein chains, amino acids, lipids, and sugars that can be absorbed into the body. Our bodies do not make all the enzymes that need to digest our food properly, so we must depend on the enzymes in the foods to help us out. Another problem with enzymes is that research has shown that enzymes in younger adults are 30 times stronger than those over the age of 69. We make less and they're less potent as we age. So two problems occur when enzyme production is not sufficient. One is acid problems, or heartburn typically, as we see, acid reflux or GERD. Here's what Big Pharma has it all wrong. They want to create drugs that block acid production. Hold on to your seat, folks, because the problem is not too much acid, it's not enough acid. So here's the truth. When you eat, particularly proteins, your food stays in your stomach long enough for the proteolytic enzymes to begin breaking down these proteins. The stomach has a mechanism to keep the food in the stomach long enough for the acid level to reach an optimum level. However, if your body is not making enough acid and enzymes, the valve at the bottom of the stomach does not open, the food stays there and causes all the symptoms. When these symptoms occur, you usually need more acid and enzymes, not less. So the second problem is that when there's not enough enzymes to break down the food properly, it is not absorbed into the body but continues to pass into the lower intestine where it ferments and creates all the lower digestive problems. Healthy intestinal flora is critically important for a healthy body. It's needed to acidify the intestine to make it uninhabitable for unhealthy bacteria. It assists in the breakdown of carbohydrates and digestion of dairy products, provides better food absorption, provides better toxin release by the colon, creates vitamins you might not get in your diet, and may be the largest center of your immune system. If you have an intestinal flora imbalance, probiotics are necessary, especially if you've had antibiotic use, antifungal use, any type of birth control use, hormone replacement therapy, high carbohydrate diet, consume chlorinated or fluorinated public water, and processed foods with toxic chemicals. So guys, the friendly bacteria, as you see here in the picture, the acidophilus, the bifidobacteria, these are here and present and prevent the bad guys, the unfriendly bacteria, the pathogenic bacteria from actually forming. So it's a layer. And some research has indicated that you have 10 times more bacterial cells in your gut than you have in your whole body. And the average male human, about 180 pounds, may have 100 trillion cells in the body. So it's 10 times 100 trillion cells of bacteria in your GI tract. And some research has indicated that the amount of weight that represents would be 3 to 5 pounds, or about the weight of your liver. It's really a secret organ that exists, that should be existing, that should start from birth. Because actually when you're born with a leaky gut, you're born without the proper bacteria, and it's the mother's breast milk and the process of a good vaginal delivery that helps you begin the process of floralization of your GI tract. So any type of antibiotic use as a child will have a long-lasting impact over a lifetime by decreasing the potential of the healthy bacteria and allowing the unfriendly bacteria and various different things like fungi and candida to overgrow the body and to affect the 25 feet of bowel, which represents a surface area for absorption about the size of a tennis court. Guys, this is significant. You get the highest amount of vitamins and minerals that are found in fresh fruit and vegetables. You also get the highest quantity. Therefore, that's why you've been saying buy organic, buy fresh, and cook less. Consider the vegetables in your local grocery store. Fresh produce in the grocery store may already be 10 to 14 days old, especially it's been shipped over the winter months into those parts of the country like where we live here in North America, up above the 49th parallel in Canada, because we spend some of our time in the cold where fruits and vegetables and various different things can't grow. We need to ship them in over the winter months, and so these foods may have traveled days and days in containers and in trucks from the areas of the south. What about cooking and nutritional value? Any cooking method creates heat, and that heat can destroy many of the vitamins and enzymes naturally found in food. If you destroy the vitamins, you also can't absorb many of the essential minerals either. This is particularly true of your most important nutritional source, your vegetables. Boiling, broiling, grilling, microwaving, and frying are the worst thing you can do for them. Better to steam them, and the best way is to have them raw. The enzymes in foods are destroyed at 118 degrees, making the food indigestible and the nutritional value questionable. With lack of digestive enzymes, you can't break down your food to even get the nutrients. Microwaving vegetables destroys up to 94% of the antioxidants available. When it comes to vegetables, our best source of vitamins, the less you heat it, the more nutritional value it will have. Raw or steamed. The best way to eat vegetables is either raw or minimally heated using a steamer. Research has concluded that the mineral content in cooking foods and cooking results in approximately 60-70% of the minerals of raw or uncooked foods being lost. Vegetables, when compared with other foods, lost a noticeably higher amount of vitamins. When different cooking methods were compared, boiling lost the most vitamins, followed by sautéing and stewing. Microwaving vegetables was a better option because less vitamins and minerals are lost because of lower heat and having no contact with water. The problem is that microwaving has been shown to destroy all the antioxidants in vegetables. Steaming has been found to be the most successful method of retaining the vitamin content in food. The important thing here is not that you have to eat all of your vegetables raw, but try to eat some vegetables raw, even at every meal if you can. So guys, here's the nutritional challenge. Make sure you have the basic foundation nutrition daily. Throw away all your synthetic, fractionalized, man-made vitamins and minerals. Complete the symptom survey and schedule your nutrition report and testing. And some basic food nutrition. Everybody needs a multivitamin based upon what we've seen, omega-3 fatty acids, probiotics, and digestive nutrition. Guys, it's been great spending time with you again. Any questions that you have, please email me at drdave@mosaiclifecare.com. The office telephone number is 905-629-0688, and we would love to be able to serve you in any way we can in helping you learn and implement and take action steps at trying to help yourself become healthier. Again, it is our goal and our passion to see you not become sick, to see you stay healthy for a lifetime, and because you stayed healthy for a lifetime, realize the purpose that you were meant to be for, the purpose that you were born for, the purpose that you were created for, and that purpose is to love individuals and to do the things that only help to serve our humanity. Bless you. Have a great month, and we'll see you again next time. Bye for now.